Hey dolls. Hey. All right, I'm gonna do it today. I'm gonna do it the right way. Oh, I am shooting live and not live. Hello, YouTube, whenever y'all see me, and hello, to my Facebook people. This is the day and night show, and this is the morning edition. So, this is going to be a little tricky for me because literally this is very unnatural in television. In broadcasting, you look at one camera and then you'll look at that one, but the whole back and forth thing is going to drive me crazy, and it's, again, so unnatural in broadcasting. So I'm going to do my best to look at both audiences. And when I forget, just please understand that there's just no other way for me to do this. I'm going to be looking at YouTube and I'm going to be looking at Facebook. And that's just the way it has to be. So I'm making sure I tie up some loose ends here before we go into our subject. But what we're going to do, we're going to start the show off today with a life hack. What am I going to do? I'm probably going to sneeze. Is I'm going to show you how to, which most people probably know, these things that I'm showing you guys are not like, oh my God, nobody has ever done that before. So I guess what I'm showing to you guys is that A, I do it. So it's almost like a confession of sorts. And then it's also, hey, if you never thought about it, try it. So what I'm going to show you is how to recycle yesterday's makeup. And then we're going to talk about some other topics like having a hypergamous lifestyle. If you aren't on YouTube, like if you don't watch and get enriched through life on YouTube, you are missing so many things that are going on in the world. Oh, I didn't finish saying this. So what do I mean by that? Before we go into my whole recycle, I guess I'm going to try to show you what I'm doing. I'm going to just go ahead. As you can see, I still have my lashes on. A little bit of eyeshadow, and then like the eyeliner has smeared off. So what we're going to see me do is touch that up. And I guess it would have probably been hella helpful if I would have actually brought my makeup supplies when I was setting up everything, videos and things like that. So let me grab the makeup bag. Do you guys love my cute Moo or whatever these things are called? One of my clients gave this to me over the summer. I think I've shot with this on before. And it was actually her grandmother's, who has passed on to the other side. And now a full-fledged ancestor. And so I feel very honored to be wearing it. And so I'm very grateful and thankful for that. So what I'm going to be doing is showing you how to do this life hack, which again is something that we have all probably done. And it's not like I said, it's not like, oh, you just discovered something, let's patent it. No, but it's just me admitting that I do it. And I'm going to just do it and talk. So what was I saying? What was the topic? I just love me sometimes. I just really do. Hold on, let me think real hard. I don't have iced coffee. I only have hot coffee at the moment. I was talking. Oh well, it'll come back. All right, so living the hypergamous lifestyle. I was talking about YouTube. See, it came back. All right. So, guys, if your source of information, like where you get things, is only the news, you are heavily missing out on things. Some people have a mindset of thinking like YouTube is just stupid videos of people doing stupid or silly or dangerous or dumb things. And if that is your scope on what YouTube is, you're you are literally missing so much information. Um, Trends, real things that are happening. I'm not just talking about like fashion and makeup. I'm literally talking about truths, life, where we are all going. YouTube is code wise as holy as the canons, like which is what the Bible was prior to being called the Bible. Okay, now when I say that, there are lots of things in the Bible and in the canons that have been man influenced and induced. So while they might be holy, they either are A, completely straight up lies, and or obsolete. Is that the right word? Like when it doesn't work anymore? Like we don't follow, if my microwave was to break right now, I'm not going to go get the manual from 1976 microwave to try to figure out what's going on with my 2019 or 2020 microwave, right? So it's the same thing. There are some things that, while they might have been truths way back in the days for whatever the reasons were, that's not important. They may not be truths now. So when you think of YouTube, okay, the canons were rolled in tubes. And so to me, coding things, that right there is just like, wow, so funny how we call it YouTube. And then it's about you, which when what we're understanding, what we're learning, and one of the people that is definitely a flagship person in this, or a oh God, I hate that when I don't have coffee, straight up like hardcore, like trailblazer. It's like I'm on a delay. Like, guys, this is a phone call from Spain, okay? And we all live in America, and so it's gonna be like an echo effect. Um, Kanye is a trailblazer in this because, well, one of them, or at least a known one. Psalms, I'll drop the verse in here in the comments or in the show notes. We are the gods. It's in Psalms. This is definitely one of the truths that I resonate with. And that's the thing about when you are decoding the Bible, which that is what you're supposed to do. If you are just reading your Bible and you are taking it literally, then you don't understand code. And that's okay. I didn't always understand code, but I will admit, and to keep it hundo with you guys, I've understood code since it must have been like right around 2007, 2008. I started to really read the Bible, ask for discernment before I read it. And so, therefore, it would be broken down to me in ways that, for me, and what my mission was, in enlightening myself, number one, and then others, number two. So, the Bible is written in code, and this is what messes up a lot of things for people, religions, things like that, is because it's taken literally. Like, it's like taking a rap song and be like, yeah, we're going to the crib, and literally start changing your whole life around, okay, now I don't live in a house anymore. I've got to go to Babies R Us or wherever they sell, that's old, right? They closed up, and buy a crib and live there. Like if fast forward to the future, they're reading rap songs or movies and hearing like, yeah, we got to live at the crib. We got to live at the crib. Go to the crib. Let's all just change our houses into cribs. Like, it's figuratively. So when you understand that really Jesus was like Kanye West, and he was a rapper, and he did speak in code, and he did speak in those poetic types of ways for explaining, for it to be in layman's terms, because regular everyday people did not get to hear anything like that. The only people that actually were privy to hearing anything out of the canons were the politicians and the religious leaders. And what they would do is come up with the things that they wanted to be put out there on the internet or in media which would be telling somebody that they trusted to go forth and tell other people, whether it be in a synagogue or other places, the marketplace. So even internet and social media, these aren't new things. These literally have been going on before. The Bible itself, even the one that we look at now, which has been rewritten and this, all the other, but just take like the canons and the Torah, which canons, Torah, Bible, and this is just Christianity. Trust and believe the Quran and other things, or I guess you say Christianity and being Jewish. There's other holy books that are absolute truths because the divine is so divine that they take people from other places and help them have their own words, just like a language, just like how we talk. So, once again, I'm over-explaining something. Any questions? Okay. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is that if you only get your information, because I'm going to let you figure out the rest, because I can't. 2020 means I'm not over-explaining stuff and clarifying and re-clarifying and 8 examples about the clarification. So you figure it out or ask a question if you don't understand. That's how I'm going to just go forward from now on. YouTube has a lot of information. It's basically what I'm trying to say, and a lot of enlightening things. And one of the things is, and this is definitely new for me, new as in only having this philosophy for about 2 months now, is living and establishing your mindset for a hypergamous lifestyle. Hypergamous means leveling up. And good morning, by the way, to everybody. I don't think I said that, for joining us. And I want to shout out, it's like I'm just turning on. Shout out our show sponsor, AC Virginia Stylist, for lashes, which right now I must tell you I'm on a break, and I don't have her lashes on. I just have strip lashes. Bad. They're not good for you. That glue is not good for your eyes. Especially in this case where I'm showing you how to recycle it, and I didn't take these jinks off last night, so really, really, really bad. But AC Virginia Stylist, I cannot wait till I can come back and get my lashes done, but I'm trying to have that little whole break thing. But the hypergamous lifestyle is when you level up. This has been going on for a gazillion years. Women did not marry below whatever their family's level was. So if your family was a $20,000 a year family, and again, I don't think that happened, except maybe in it prior to like Atlantis. I don't even know what they're overthinking, Julie. You're overthinking. You're over-explaining. So $20,000 family, if you were a daughter, your parents would not arrange or have you court people that were making less than $20,000. They would set you with a family that was making more because you were to move up in life to make it better for your family, for your children. Same thing, I believe, also for the male suitors. No, because that would be right. No, that's not true. Because obviously, if the hypergamous lifestyle would support the male suitor to have the option of, okay, well, yes, they do bring less family-wise. So, no, right. So, no, that's not true. Now, how this is true in today's society, it is definitely true. Male suitors, whether it be looks, body type, sometimes education, complete mindsets, they also level up. How it happens typically is from first marriage to second marriage. You'll typically, generally speaking, see that whatever the first wife lacked, again, and it's not necessarily looks. It could have been just compassion or understanding, or it could be looks, body type. The second wife is going to be, generally speaking, leveled up. at least in the mind of the husband. Maybe not for everybody else, where they might be like, oh, but this girl was like a model, and why did you go for this girl? Well, in some ways, he thinks he's leveled up, okay? So it happens for both sexes. But what has happened, and there's now a shift, um, because of socialism, and hopefully I'm using this word the right way, but once upon a time when the only way you could get married was through what was socially acceptable for your family. If you were a peasant family, you married peasant people. If you were like royal chamber type families, then you'd marry other royal chamber families. Everybody stayed in their little blocks. If you were a aristocrat, I think is the word, then you'd marry other aristocrats, and so forth and so on, okay? And there was a backlash or a uprising because people were falling in love with other classes. And so it became something that people literally died and fought for, was marrying out of their class, okay? Which, it's a beautiful thing, all right? Like, that is part of injustices being undone, just like racism, just like women's rights, things like that. So, bravo, yay, glad it happened. The other thing is that with that happening, there has also been a disruption of sorts in how women are making decisions in marriage, courting, also known as dating, because that movement and that momentum of I don't want to be stuck in marrying in my class, and it's not really a thought that people have. It's more like a subconscious thought, if anything. But I'll give you my example. A few years ago, I dated somebody that was younger than me, by many years, like by, I think, 7 or 9, I don't remember, something like that. And this person, literally, their job was a dishwasher in a restaurant, okay? And again, nothing wrong with that, all right? But for me, as a self-employed person, my former husband being a vice president of a company, blah, 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 like, that's definitely like, whoa, girl, you really, okay, so you must really, like, be into that movement of not looking at those things and or are infatuated. And I think it was actually, for me, really both. This person, I have been taught not to judge people on aesthetics like that. That's just the way I was raised. So that is good as a foundation to not have those prejudice types of things. And I would say for me going forward, that is good for me not having those types of prejudices. And if you're just joining into the Facebook Live, I'm also talking to YouTube. So that's where you see me not looking at you guys. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm talking to two people. But that's good to have that as a foundation, I would say, for friendship, for business, for anybody in life. Where it needs to be really, truly reconsidered is in relationships that are going to be romantic or romantic/life partners. Because what I'm finding for me is that sometimes marrying out of your class and or maybe for a woman marrying below your class, which we don't really have classes anymore. We don't. It's muddled. But I would just say out of class, let's replace that with your mindset, your ambitions, your philosophies in life. Where if they're so contrasting, even in an interesting way, it's likely going to cause a problem for you long term. Because somebody that is, let's say, well into their 30s and is a busboy, okay? Let's just say busboy. I don't want to use like that example anymore. And that's literally, they're good with that. Literally, they're good with that at 35 and doing their, artistic career. All right. And if that's like, okay, and that's fine for them, great. Let it be fine for them. But how's that going to work for you as a woman with her own business, with a side hustle, and with children? Like in a romantic, long-term relationship. I'm here to tell you, it doesn't work. Now, why I needed to go through it in order to actually understand that, I don't know. But RIP to that mindset. That definitely isn't what's going on today. Today I understand that I fully am embracing the hypergamous lifestyle, which means I'm going to level up. I am not, and I repeat, capital N-O-T, going to marry for love. I'm not even in, there is nothing in my frequency or energy anymore that is built up to, oh, oh my God, he's just so handsome. And oh my gosh, like when I'm near him, I'm just like, oh my God, like I can't even breathe anymore because I'm just so caught up. And he just makes me get butterflies in my stomach. And oh my God, I just got like the chills all over my face just thinking about him. And I just want to like, oh my gosh, when he like holds my, nope, never again. When I tell you never again, I mean like capital N-E-V-A-H. Again, what will happen, and I've already put this in my manifesto, it is already in the progress, thank you universe, this is already coming to me, is I will be given a provider. Now, this provider is also in search of me, okay? So it's going to be a relationship that is complementary to each other's heart's desires, all right? This is not about getting over on somebody, okay? This is about complementing one another. So I am being given a provider, you guys. And the provider is the masculine energy. Energy does not mean gender necessarily, so let's clarify that. A masculine energy is just an energy source. This could be a female gender with a masculine energy. That is my opposite. This I already know. It's a truth that I understand as a truth for myself. I am a feminine energied female gender, okay? So what that means for me is that I could find a partnership in a female gendered but highly masculine energied person or person. Don't know why I went there. So I just like to clarify that because that is something that needs to be explained because it can be confusing. I get it. Like truly, if anybody that's in the LGBTQ plus community gets offended by explaining and people not understanding, you shouldn't because it's hella fucking confusing, okay? And I'm talking from somebody that, what am I called again? See, I don't even remember what I am. And that's not, it's new, as in new to Americans, new to us as far as defining things because we have to have labels and we have to define. But like prior to this, it's just called being a human and we're multifaceted, period. But we all have to explain it, so I forget what I'm called. But it doesn't even matter. I am in that spectrum. So, yes, so as a feminine energy, I am highly attracted to a masculine energy. Typically and generally and historically speaking, it has been male genders, okay? But what I'm telling you is that as a woman, as a feminine energy, the first thing that I would say to anybody that's listening to this and is like, is she talking about gold digging? Yes, I am. But that is an old terminology. Gold digging is like, I know I said this in a video prior to this, but it's really not the correct terminology, okay? It is the one that is used. Oh, I said it was like the word witch, um, which really just meant witch is like the wrong word when we're talking about things like that. What witch referred to was just people living their lives using herbs, saying manifestations, aka prayers, speaking things into existence, aka claiming it in the name of Jesus. You understand, Jesus, je suis, I am, we are the gods, like I was saying earlier. Religion is political and religious control. Like, if you haven't figured that out yet, you need to allow yourself to resist this information that I'm telling you, but be intrigued in it enough to search for yourself. And I'm sorry, I'm playing with lipstick things. It's probably annoying to hear that in the background. This is not an ASMR video. So, living the hypergamous lifestyle is leveling up. So I am going to only date somebody that is higher income than myself. Not by like 5,000 G's either, okay? We're talking like, I'm only going to date a provider. Now, obviously, I'm not going to know that on the first date. You don't really find things out sometimes until like after some time is spent with somebody. But for me, I know that I am not supposed to be physically working my ass off until I'm 65 years old. And I'm a hustler, you guys. I'm not some person that just sits here and like is in this house all day chilling. Like most of you guys know, I have my own business. I've had my own business for like 18 plus years. And even with that, I've had a retail place simultaneously for 4.5 years. You know, I create new businesses, you know, like I've already created 2 in the last 2 years. I mean, some of them end up functioning and some of them become hobbies, but I'm a creator. I'm not a sit here and just looking for a hypergamous lifestyle so that I can lay in bed, watch TV, and just watch YouTube all day. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not, for me, that's not what it means. Now, if that's what it is for you, everybody has their seasons, and honey, if that's what you're doing, I'm not here to judge you. And my stomach's going to growl because I'm hungry and I'm out of coffee, so I'm drinking nothing. But the hypergamous lifestyle is definitely something that is, for me, that's new for 2020. I did not know what that even meant. Thankfully, I do eat YouTube. I am a consumer of YouTube. I have been on a spiritual journey for a year now. And I have allowed myself to be open to things that I did not know about. That's also called education, just in case you're not catching that. And most recently, I've been open to Shira 7-1, which is where this started from. And I'll recap her pretty much always for every video because some of you are watching me for the first time, so you've never heard me tell you this. But Shira 7-1, which I will always link her as long as I remember, she is a YouTuber and she talks about and promotes gold digging or leveling up. And when I first heard her, gosh, this freaking phone is going off like crazy. Sorry. I'm just making sure that none of my contractor bosses type people are contacting me with urgent information, and they're not. She promotes that, and when I first heard her video, like I've said before, I was like, what the freaking heck am I listening to? Why is this happening to me? I don't listen to these types of people. How did she get on my algorithms for me to listen to her? And as soon as I could, I was going to take my gloves off because I was working in a bathroom and change her ass. Like, and block, like, so I could never ever hear anything like that ever again. I was like, so like annoyed. But after listening to her, because I had to, for like a whole probably 20 minutes, was like, yeah, what you're saying is true. Like, I was like, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. And then I was in shock, upset at myself that I was agreeing with somebody that had a gold digger mindset and slash philosophy that she was promoting on YouTube. But once I got past that and challenged myself to listen to her and at least joke on her in my head maybe and be like, you're dumb. Um, I realized that I was taught wrong. Most of us women were taught the wrong things. We were taught, be nice, be a good girl, be thankful, be happy that he has a job. I would say that in the Hispanic community, which I am mostly far removed from, so I just need to keep it real. It's not like I grew up very far away from my Hispanic roots. Hispanic, yeah, I'm saying it. Okay. If yeah, I'm so far away from it. However, in my memories of a childhood, there were certain things that were pressed into that, like seeing my grandmother wait on my grandfather, literally like as soon as he would come in, because we lived with them, so I saw these things. Um, having his wine, serving him his food while he sat in the TV chair to watch television, okay? He literally, I don't think I ever saw my grandfather in the kitchen. Maybe to get coffee, and maybe not even to that. I don't think I ever saw him in there. Um, and that was the times, okay? But those things like were heavily like, oh, well, that's what I'm supposed to be doing when I grow up. And the thing is that no, that's not true. But those are the things that we learned subconsciously or we were instructed. Like, no, you're supposed to do this, and a woman does this, and a woman's thankful for this, and blah, 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 blah. And the thing is, thank God there's been a shift, and we're understanding that women don't have to do anything that they don't want to do. We have choices. And one of our choices is like, we don't have to do that. We don't have to wait on a man. We don't have to do that. In the same sense, there's men out there that are not about that life. They're just not. They don't want that. There are some men that are not like that, that they'd much rather do things in another way. Okay? Um, your truth is your truth, and that's what you have to honor. Okay? And that is called shadow work. So for me, even though that I understand and appreciate the women's movement and being able to vote and having people fight for me to be in the workplace, having people fight for me to be in the workplace and be paid the same as somebody that is equal to me in experience and or education, and integrity and all those other things that go with it. Um, that's that. Thank you, and I'm happy for that. But I also am now understanding that part of my choice is being able to choose. Now, do you want to do that? Because you don't have to. And that's where it was like, oh, okay, yeah, so right. So we fought for these things, and thank you, women before me that sacrificed their lives and everything that went along with that. But if I want to stay home and do other things like my business from home and or do other things for myself, that I can date and or have a life partner that's a provider so that I can do that, that's okay. Yeah, duh. It's called a choice. And the thing is like people don't get that you're not stuck with the fight. The fight was for the choice. So I'm making my choice, and my choice is hypergamous lifestyle, leveling up, being with a provider. I will only date a provider, again, once I figure out that they're a provider, because I know what I bring to the table. So here's the thing. What does a man get for having being a provider? Well, for masculine energy to men, it feeds into their ego, which ego is not a bad thing as long as you can tame it, as long as you understand it, as long as you can smell it and are aware, like, oh, I'm in my ego right now. When you don't understand these things, that can be very dangerous, and it could be very narcissistic in all different types of ways, for that particular type of masculine energy. But with the shift, it being 2020, with education, with men being raised by single mothers, they are more, I think is the word, inept to understand certain things. So even for a masculine energied archetype, they are also conscious enough or educated enough to understand that yes, you can be masculine energied, but you cannot be an ape about it. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, if that's what you're drawn to, that's what you like that thing, cool. That's you. Do you, boo boo, as they say. But for me, I would say that my draw is masculine energy with some good sprinkles of feminine energy, enough to be tapped into their feminine side to understand me or other women in their life. So that's what you have to figure out for yourself. What is your dirty little secret for yourself, okay? And when I say dirty little secret, it just means that a truth that you are struggling with, and you probably don't even know possibly that you're struggling with it, but you know you don't like it when you see it in other people, okay? Which was me. I literally could not stand gold diggers, could not stand them at all, would bash them, would talk bad about them, would think that they are beneath me by so many levels. And then once I understood what it means and what the expectation is, and when you look at men and what they go about and how they conduct themselves, because most men are looking for easy but want disciplined. I'm going to say that again. They are looking for easy but want discipline. A freak in the sheiks, but a lady in the streets, okay? Same thing. So, yeah, of course they want easy, but when it comes to solidifying with somebody, they aren't trying to be with easy. They're trying to hit easy, but be with the opposite of that. So when you set yourself up for a hypergamous lifestyle, you have to be of that quality, okay? You can't be a pick-Misha, as Shira 7 1 coins it. You have to have a certain sense of self-love truly for you. You have to know your value. If you don't know your value, you need to learn right away on how to learn it, how to know your value, because you can't be, which is what I used to be, a pick-Misha, which was so catering to the men in my life. I'm talking about romantically and beyond, actually. That I didn't even think of myself as being an important person that had needs or that I counted. And the thing is that what I lacked is providership. That did not happen in my childhood memories. And this is, again, no, this is to everybody. Everybody has choices. We all have different things that happen in our lives, and things happen. But I'm just speaking my truth, which is what my channel is about. That was a struggle for me. So I learned to be a little helper and just help, provide. And even when I had a provider as a partner in life, I was still not sanctioned the life to be like, well, I can provide. Why don't you, focus on the kids? It was very much expected for me to meet halfway, at least. And that's fine if that's what you want to do. But that's not really what I want to do. That's what I thought I wanted to do. That's what I made myself do. I was so fighting my inner self that not only did I meet halfway, like I said, I had two businesses going at the same time because I refused to look like I needed help. I refused to look like a gold digger. I refused to look like the wife that wasn't helping her husband, that I just tried to be like exemplary about it and be like the best. And was literally killing myself trying to be this person that through my childhood and my young marriage or dating or married life, whatever you want to call it, that I was not allowed to accept myself, accept my inner person, which was, look, I'm not a lazy person. I'm not a manipulator. I'm not a selfish person. So I can be entrusted with being provided for because what you give me, I'm going to triple it easily in every way imaginable. In actuality, like money, in home, like all these things. Men want these things. That's what you guys don't understand. They have been trained to think, oh, well, yeah, you marry somebody, then everybody works their asses off, and then you hire housekeepers, hire this, and that's fine if you have the money to do that. Okay, because I'm a housekeeper, I'm a maid, this is my business, like, this is why I'm employed, because of this mindset. However, understanding this, like, I'm so sure that I have clients, at least two, that and I'm taking all my clients from the beginning of time that I've had them till now that would have just rather stayed home. Well, actually, I had clients that had that way. They had the hypergamous lifestyle. They were living it. They were raising their children, focusing on the home, hiring the housekeepers, hiring the people, blah, 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 the lawn people, and their husband was out there getting the bag. And that was working because that was their truth. So if that is your truth, all I'm saying is that honor it for yourself. Now, if your truth is like, no, I really, really, truly, which again, I think I would have said this too for myself because I was afraid to even think for 1 second that the opposite could have been my truth. But I'm like, no, I'm going to work. My husband is going to pay for everything. We'll do it like 50-50. We're a team. We're a team. The odds are against you in that, ladies. The odds are against you. Typically, when that happens, and you can just look at it in your history of memories, people that you know, friends, family, whatever, when a man has, or masculine energy rather, has a 50-50 wife, once they get to a certain level, like, after they finish law school, after they go to the doctor's school, blah, 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 and their wife has worked their ass off, so therefore, they might be more overweight or they can't focus on their looks anymore. And it's not just about looks, okay? But we have to understand men are very much about looks. They cannot help it. It's in their wiring. They need those aesthetics. Now, it may get them to you. Will it keep them? No, because if you're just hollow inside and a total jerk, they're probably not going to, the looks they fade. They go away. They don't see that anymore. But what does often happen is that you will have these men that have had these women in their lives, or feminine energy, masculine energy people, that they built all this with, and now they are leveling up, and they're going to replace you with somebody else, with somebody that's like a gold digger, looking for a provider that is going to not be their business partner, but focus on the home, focus on them, focus on themselves. Really, that's what it's about. They're so focused on themselves that they've kept themselves up. They look good. This is not a body shaming. This is all types. You can look good and be thick, full-figured, and all that, okay? And you can look hella nasty and be like having the perfect body, but you just are unkept inside and out, okay? But that's what happens. Just look at almost anything in life, and it supports that truth. So, what you can do is figure out your truth, which is what I've done for me, and understand that for me, speaking for myself, I'm realizing that after watching She-Ra Step 1 and Chloe, that I was programmed in an old school 1950s type of program, and that program is obsolete for me. And I don't want to, I do want to adapt some of those principles, but the programming in which I'm speaking about is the one that was like, fight for your rights, go to work, and everything else will come together, partner with your husband. So I guess that's more like not 1950s. Sorry, that's probably more like 1970s, 80s, 90s, okay? So what I'm wanting for myself is actually with a progressive masculine energy, more of the 1950s type of life, type of mentality for me. Not saying that has to be for you. But for me, that is my truth. And that's the thing that when it comes to evolution, when it comes to um, learning, when it comes to life, you have to start doing shadow work. The things that are your pet peeves that really kind of irk and irritate your nerves, the things that you can see in other people before anybody else in the room can see it, more than likely are some of your truths about yourself. And the reason why you're able to see it before anybody else in the room is because it's a part of you. Like birds of a feather flock together, things like that. So it's a truth that you have rejected about yourself. So therefore you campaign against that truth about yourself. Very much like how there's people that, and this is a shining example, the preacher or the person that is so homophobic and is bashing gay people, okay? Or anybody in that spectrum, okay? Gays, transgenders, 9 out of 10 times has that truth inside of them. Period. Or in a very close proximity, like maybe a child of theirs. So they broadcast their inner hatred for themselves and come across as a bigot, as a homophobe, when the truth of the matter is that they're probably on the spectrum in some way, shape, or form. So that is one way of trying to identify what your truth is look at your pet peeves. Look at the things that you know before anybody else knows. That's called shadow work. So for me, and I've shared this before, my shadow, I just said it. It was that. One of those things is the gold digger thing. Definitely would campaign and stand on a soapbox about gold diggers with literally no shame, no problem. I'm not even getting ready. As usual, I can't multitask. But I did redo the eyeliner, guys. That's what my life hack was. Oh, did I not do this side? I did, but you can't see it. That's my shadow work. One of them, okay? So what I'm encouraging you, because there has been a shift, and 2020 Envision is about envisioning your life and changing it. You have that power to do it. It is within you, and it always has been. Always. Just like in The Wizard of Oz. When the wizard tells Dorothy, it was always there in her backyard. Okay? So, movies have messages. Because remember, movies, books, TV shows are the Bible. What the Bible was, what the canon was, which is multimedia, social media. All these things are our stories, which is what Jesus was trying to explain to everybody, is that living word, that the word will become us, okay? So don't knock your source of information. If you get living word from YouTube, a YouTuber, an Instagrammer, that person is not any less than somebody that writes a newspaper article or is on a church pulpit, okay? Quite frankly, they're probably even more so qualified in your life if they are a YouTuber or just on Instagram and not coming from a church pulpit, because churches are businesses. Now, that's not to say that YouTubers don't end up making money off of it, but you have to understand, like when somebody shoots a YouTube video, like when I finish doing this YouTube video, there's not like a little ATM machine that comes out and says, here you go. Like that takes time. Most of these YouTubers have put in so much time into their videos that yeah, it does happen, but it's years later. There's always the exception where it's like, oh yeah, this person made a video in 1 week, they went viral, and so now they have all these subs. But again, those are exceptions to the rules more so than people that actually have had channels for years and years and years and years, have given their time and energy. They're just sharing the information for the sake of sharing it. And then maybe later, their channel blows up and the message is seen and heard by the masses, and so therefore their information is shared and they get more subscribers and more views, and then the payoff. But it's not like initially. So that's what you have to look at, is that truth can be more trusted as a source of truth than somebody that is getting paid to say it from jump initially, right then and there. It's they're, oh, well, how can I make money on this? So take that however you want to take it. But let me make sure I did everything that was on the show notes before I forget. Un momento. Show notes. Where am I? This is me. So wash your face and go. So that was basically me showing you how to wash your face and just retouch up your makeup from yesterday. Okay, so I'm just going to clients. So this is good. I'm not going on a hypergamous lifestyle date. Stop being, play the game like an NBA player. Okay, so that was a thing that, men are always saying. I see this all the time on Facebook where they're like, I don't like games. I don't like games. I don't like no women playing games. Don't be playing games. Blah, 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 blah. Don't be drama, blah, blah, blah. These are lies. Lies, 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 lies. Men love games. Love them, love them, love them. Love them. Sometimes they love games more than life. You don't believe me? Please understand and believe that's why and how the NBA is here, the NFL, the NHL, the freaking teams that people make up. They like games so much they make up fake teams in order to play games. Let me say it again. Men like games, masculine energy, like games so much that they make up fake teams to play the games that they say they don't like. So, what you have to understand, sweetheart, sweet feminine energy, that it thinks that, well, I just need to be truthful and loving and doting and just be my sweet, wonderful self, and they're going to see it, and then I'm going to get that guy, my dream guy, in the end. Nope. Because you are the answer sheet. So they can see everything. Unchallenged, uninterested, but yeah, I'll hit it. You're cute. You're fine. But will I be intrigued with you? Will I invest in you? Will I court you? Will I follow you? Will I be like, oh my God, like I've never had a girl like this before. Dang, she's super challenging. Like, I'm intrigued. It's subconscious. They don't even know that. See, the thing is that they say they don't like games. I think they really believe that. Like, you will have people like, that's not true. I don't like games. I wanted them to keep it real. Blah, 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 blah. But the thing is that your subconscious and the way you are wired as a masculine energy, you like games. Even if you're not sports minded, okay? You like games another way. Games come about in different ways. Men like the challenge. Humans like challenge. It's not just a masculine energy thing. We like challenges, but there are certain things that are more wired for the masculine energy, and one of them is games, challenges. It's the same thing like when you see. No, I'm not going to explain it. Have a question asked. That's right. It's 2020. I'm doing things differently. So let's just look at the proof in the pudding, which is fantasy football, the actual football leagues, basketball leagues, poker leagues, golf leagues, baseball leagues, chess, checkers, Monopoly, freaking games, people. Farmville, well, that's probably not even in existence. Whatever people play, freaking games, okay? So humans like games, but more so importantly for this topic, men subconsciously and consciously love games. So you would be doing yourself, especially if you are innocent minded, a good girl, like truly a good girl, was raised to be a good girl, you are going to help yourself if you start to play the game. And the game is don't be the good girl. Now, I'm not talking about being a bad girl, but you don't want to show that you're the good girl. You need to be mysterious. Stop telling your whole life freaking story on the first, second, third, fourth date about how this happened and you're a good girl and this guy did this and this guy did that or blah blah blah. No. Just shut the heck up and just let them talk. Because a masculine energy is going to be trying to entertain you. Talk your head off. Where you're just like, damn, okay. But you know what? While that initially is a little frustrating and annoying, and I will say that as being a programmed person to be more masculine than I was actually truly feminine, I'd be like, yo, how you gonna cut me off? I'm trying to talk, blah, 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 you know? But then when I realized that he's just trying to impress me and entertain me, let them do it. Because when you give out too much information, it's like showing the opposing team your moves. It's not knowing the moves is so important. If you've ever watched a football game, okay, you will see the coach, like he'll have his headsets on and he'll be talking like this so that nobody knows what he's telling his players to say, okay? It is very important for it to be mysterious, to be a secret, so that the other person doesn't know what they're doing. And it's not tricky. People know that. Do the footballers say, "Oh man, the coach is being mysterious. He's lying. They're not telling us what the plays are. So strike. We're not playing." No, they go and do the same thing with their team, and they say, "Okay, guys, so this is the plan." Okay, so team slap everybody on the butt. Let's go. So understand, it's a game. You need to play it, honey. You need to learn how to play it. How you learn how to play it is you watch Shira 7-1 every day. Listen to her as much as you can. Also, Chloe, I'm going to put their links on there because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a kindergartner, maybe a second grader in this thing. These are the professors. So I'm telling you the professors, this is the school I go to. This is how I learn because I was that girl. I was the innocent, I'll just be truthful. I'll just be a good girl. I'll just be loving. I'll just be doting. I'll just be all these things. And I'm here to tell you, I have nothing to show for it. Like many of us, we're separated, divorced, second, third, fourth marriages or serious relationships, habitual offenders, whatever you want to call it. And that's just the truth. So if you want to have things different for you, you have to make real shifts in your thinking, mentality, mindset, overall everything. Have like a full body, mind, soul transplant in order to shift things for yourself. Otherwise, you're stuck in the same behavioral pattern that was programmed from day one and then supported from day two and on until you realize that you were programmed wrong or this program is obsolete for you. And so you have to reprogram yourself. So I'm going to leave y'all with that because I think I've hit everything that I wanted to show you. And the life hack is you can repurpose and reuse your makeup and eyelashes from yesterday. Just touch it up and go. Wash your face, touch it up, take the little moo-moo off, and go hit the world. So with that, I will say thank you everybody for watching, and thank you YouTube, thank you Facebook. Guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me, leave comments, whatever. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you didn't like it, sorry, it's my truth. And then guys, like the more people this is important. Share this video because we as women, feminine energied anyways, have to educate each other. We're the gatekeepers. The more of us that shut down the BS out there in the dating world or even in the married world, okay, and start changing things like, yo, I'm not going to be doing this anymore. Love you, but love myself first and foremost. And so I'm going to be changing these things like now. And only some things are going to be grandfathered in this clause, but otherwise it's a whole new world, okay? Like Aladdin, you got it? You understand? So just educate yourself. If you don't like this message, if this message is irking your nerves, this message is especially for you. Especially for you. Shira 7-1's links will be in here, as will Chloe's. And I encourage you to listen because the only way that you will see a major shift take place in your life, and I'm just here to tell you, it's real. So, thank you for watching the Day and Night Show, everybody, and have a good day, and I'll check in with you guys later. So, bye. Bye, YouTube. I'll say bye to you first so I can end this.